This one is the biggest, the most important. In front of a sellout crowd, this is the biggest field of competitors we've had here and the biggest crowd we've ever had. Green flag into turn 1, Zach Lavoie on the inside, Austin Hurdle on the outside, 3 wide behind him, Marchev. And the Acura Integra of Ronnie Feindock, Joel Morrison, they did 3 wide without touching. Now through turn 2, they're still side by side for second on back. What a frantic start. Look at Catil up to 4th place, maybe looking for 3rd. He can get alongside Eric Jensen. Into turn 3 now, still going to go behind him. Dramas here, Zach Lavoie out front. Hurdle clings to second, but Eric Catil slots to 3rd series. Could he charge through and win his first race back since his new build that last August? Oh boy, and again, the 2 drivers out front have never won a GLTC race. Catil has won dozens, but it was years ago. He hasn't won since back at Midwest Fest Race 4 in 2021. It's a long winless drought for Eric Catil, and how much would he love to end it here today? Look at this battle for the top 5. This is unbelievable. Look at this, side by side for second now. Catil throttling up, drag race to turn 11.
He's coming away. This is incredible. So you have these 3 in the pack right now. They all want to come for Zach.
They're all trying to get to Zach, but you got to get by Hurdle first. Catil later on the brakes than the 34 of Austin Hurdle. Huge differences, almost 1,000 pounds between those 2 cars. Catil through to second place, and now for the lead. Here comes Eric Catil in a rebuilt car.
Oh!
To the outside at turn 7. Here comes Eric in the Hybridracing EG. He's got it.
Oh!
Catil leading. He has not really had the lead in months. Up the back straightaway, battle for first and battle for third. Eric Catil in the Hybridracing EG has a fierce competitor behind him in Matt Waldbaum. He's going defensive there, running mid-track.
It's the 2 of them right now. Look at that.
2-car tango for the top spot at Midwest. Waldbaum slips just a little bit. 5 minutes to go, Cerise. Just a couple of laps remaining, maybe 3.
Okay.
And Eric Jensen's off at turn 11.
He's planted. He's going to stay there for the remainder of the...
Caution, full course yellow.
Yep.
Well, Eric Catil leads with 4 minutes remaining. This could end this race and put Eric Catil back in victory lane for the first time in a long time. As we get the green flag, and it's a 1-lap shootout. Here we go into turn 1, and here comes Waldbaum side by side for the lead. Now into turn 2, Catil on defense. Can he hold off? Here comes Austin Hurdle. 2 miles remain in this 2.2-mile lap race, and it is all for Grid Life Midwest glory. It's not going to be a weekend victory for Catil, but it will be a race win if he can cling to it. And for the lead, half a lap remains. Eric Catil and Matt Waldbaum dueling here. 5 car lengths between them as the field jockeys for position behind. We head up the back straightaway for the final time. Can Eric Catil hang on? He's got a gap.
How many laps are we going to give these guys?
This is it. We're coming back to the checkers.
Okay, now my heart rate's up. Jeez.
Checkered
He's
flag.
doing a good job of maintaining the front position, but Waldbaum is really right around him.
Checkered flag out of the final corner. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. Waldbaum is coming, but it's not enough. And Eric Catil, after months of heartbreak, he is back in victory lane in Grid Life Touring Cup. Eric Catil.
Well done.
In the Hybridracing EG. Glory again for our 2020 champion. That was absolutely unbelievable. Everything that he's been through, his family has been through the last couple of months. It's an emotional moment.
All right, guys, we are out here at GingerMan. We got Roy helping out this weekend, crew chief duty.
How's it going?
So yeah, this is the setup. We got the canopies up, looking good. We got the 10x15s, 2 of them. Got the car. Running the set from last year just for practice. These are older tires, so we got 2 practice sessions today, and I want to save the good tires for the races. So fronts and rears, I'm going to save these for Friday and Saturday. But yeah, not a lot of changes. Hopefully I'll release the video of me working on the car between CMP and GingerMan. But to summarize real quickly, we added a lot of reliability mods, so oil cooler, brake ducts, and then we did a little bit of radiator ducting as well, and then also like a slightly different setup for alignment. But yeah, not much has changed since CMP. The car is really good there, so hopefully it's going to be good here. GingerMan, I've been here a lot, and I think the EG hatch actually has the record in GLTC, but that was back in the Hoosier days, so we don't have Hoosiers anymore. We're limited to a 200 treadwear street tire, but I think we're going to be knocking pretty close to those lap times. So I think the best was like a 37.8. So if we dip into the 38s, I think that's going to be really good for this weekend. Realistically, probably today I'm expecting 39s, hopefully some low 39s, and then we'll kind of see where the competition is at. But yeah, the car was fast as CMP. I don't see any reason why the car should not be fast here. But yeah, GingerMan, it's a pretty, it's an easy track to learn. It's a hard track to master. There's a lot of tricky sections where you need to get the setup on the car just right. And the hardest thing about this track is it's not really front wheel drive friendly. You start burning off those front tires. This track relies a lot on front end grip, and there's a lot of brake zones as well. So we're gonna try to set the car up a little bit looser, which is why I changed some of the alignment settings before I came here. And we're gonna try to see how the car handles, and then based on how the car feels today, I might, you know, change a few adjustments here or there, maybe sway bars, spring rates, alignment. But yeah, 2 practice sessions today, and then go into competition tomorrow. So yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, we fixed the headlight too. Little black eye. And then of course we got Senna. So yeah.
Hit dog.
It's pretty good on the black wheels.
Alright, practice 1. Let's just shake the car down, see what we got. Go from there.
Day one is pretty much complete. We had 2 practice sessions today. Both went pretty well. I think I got P3 in the first practice session, which matched my personal best of all time here with the Sedan. It was just above, it was a 140.0 or something like that. And then practice 2, we dipped into the 39. So 139.4. That was the second fastest lap time of the session. Yeah, feeling really good with the car. Car is great. We had a slight throttle body issue in the first practice where everything kind of turned off. So recalibrated the throttle body, fixed all that, and that seemed to do the trick. Right now, we're just gonna do a quick once over, probably swap to the white wheels. Swap to the white wheels for practice tomorrow, just to make sure the setup on the 265s in the front should have a little bit more grip than the 255s on it now. And then yeah, just go practice tomorrow, qualifying, and then race 1. So good first day, no major issues, good practice, and personal best Sedan time at GingerMan, 139.4. Really happy about that. So let's keep pushing. Not sure what just happened, but my fuel pump stopped working and my plug here got burned out. We're literally just about to drive the car to do a little nighttime photo shoot, and now we have a fuel pump issue. So I guess I'm glad this happened now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewire this and then maybe swap the fuel pump. Luckily I have spares. So what we're doing, luckily I have a spare pump, so we're just gonna swap it just in case. But the pump doesn't look bad. I don't know, but the wires got smoked. Not really sure if it was a wiring issue or if a pump issue, but we're gonna swap the pump anyway just to be safe. And I'm gonna rewire this and hopefully be good for tomorrow. About 3 hours later, I think we fixed it. Yeah, I don't think it was a fuel pump issue. I think it was a wiring issue, because that is the wiring for the fuel pump, which was controlled by my relay, which was controlled by my micro PDMs. It's a complicated wiring system, but there's a short somewhere, and it caused this wire to burn up, that wire to burn up, and then if you follow my wiring, I had a coupler here, and it caused this coupler to burn up as well. So I'm not really sure what's going on. So instead, what I ended up doing is I basically just hardwired it to a voltage source. It is fused, but unfortunately now, when I turn on the car, it's basically gonna turn on the fuel pump. But anyway, car is fixed. That was frustrating. That's my first major issue on the wiring harness side of things, which is a little frustrating. There's a short somewhere, not sure what's causing it. Good news is the fuel pumps are fine. So even though we did replace it, the other one is still good. But whatever, car's fixed. Should be ready to go tomorrow. It is midnight. Practice 3 isn't until like 10 o'clock in the morning. So be able to sleep in a little bit. What do you think, Roy?
I was a mess, but we got it done.
Right, bud? You want to go to bed? All right, time to make my bed. All right, good morning, guys. Not off to a great start. I might have missed the driver's meeting by an hour. but I talked to the race directors, and yeah, I don't know, I just forgot about it. But anyway, we're gonna swap wheels and tires. Once again, these are the 225s, so we're gonna go to the 265 fronts, these white ones. And we got practice 3 coming up, so I just want to get a few laps on the 265s just to make sure the setup is good. And then we'll go into qualifying in the afternoon. So fixed the fuel pump last night. That was a huge pain in the butt. But yeah, should be all good to go now, hopefully, fingers crossed. I've been having a few electrical issues, and it's just not giving me a good feeling. Something's up. Anyway, let's get these white wheels on the car and go off for practice 3.
They're probably not up to temp, but check them.
All right, we're back on the bed again. Let's Senna say hello. So yeah, that was a waste of a practice session. Pretty much 80% of it was yellow flag because someone decided to go off in turn 10, and apparently the gravel that they've updated, you just get stuck. You can't get out of it. So that kind of sucked, but I got like 1.5 good laps in, which was good enough for P1 overall by like 1.4 seconds. So I mean, that's awesome, but at the same time, it doesn't really mean anything because I don't think a lot of people got any clean laps in. So yeah, I don't know. Car felt okay. The fuel pump works, which is awesome, but it felt kind of pushy on the new tires, which is weird because now I'm running a wider front. But I just think the track conditions weren't as good as they were yesterday. So might try to loosen her up a little bit for qualifying, maybe put a little bit more rear bar, maybe a little bit more rake in the back, and then go off for qualifying in about an hour. So feeling confident this weekend. Pace seems to be there. Like I said, man, yesterday I ran the personal best in that car. Still not quite as fast as the EG hatch, but the EG hatch was on Hoosiers, so you can't really compare. It's not apples to apples. What do you think, Roy?
What's up?
I don't know. Roy's helping me this weekend. He's the homie. He's got the white Vario that you might have seen in the previous video. So anyway, get out there for qualifying here soon.
Roy, you got me? Hello? I don't got you, Roy. I think you have to press the button on the headset or try the button on the walkie-talkie. Nope, still nothing. Try again. See what happens. Nope, still nothing. 50.
Good? It's the same weight as you fit.
Head down. Go through.
Does that sound? Yep. Yeah. Well, P4 in qualifying. Not exactly where I expected to be. I was hoping to be on the front row, which I was. I think I was second for the longest time, but then I ended up getting beat by 3 Corvettes, so go figures. But the good news is the car is extremely consistent. Check this out. Look at these lap times. 39.8, 39.98, 39.98, and there's more. The good news is the car is consistent, especially over a long run, which I think is gonna be basically the same situation at CMP. The car just came in towards the end of the race while all the heavy cars ended up struggling, being basically 1,000 pounds heavier than my car. So I'm pretty happy where I ended up for it. It's not terrible, you know, can make some moves throughout the race. This track is hard to pass on. But the biggest issue I'm struggling with the car right now is that it is extremely pushy. It felt really good yesterday, but today the track conditions are just not ideal. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit of rake into the rear, maybe put a little bit of wedge in it. So I'll basically lift up the outside rear, and then I'll put a little bit more weight on the inside front just because of quarter balancing. So I'm gonna try that, probably raise it a turn. Maybe stiffen up the rear bar, one more click. See what I can do back there, and just try to make this car a little bit looser because that's gonna help it, you know, later in the race as well. So let's do some setup changes, rehydrate, and then race 1 later today at 4 o'clock. So anyway, P4 behind 3 vets. It's GLTC for you. So because we won 3 races at CMP, we have to add rewards weight, and it's permanent until the very last event. So the first win is free, and then every win after that, you get a percentage. So 3 wins, that means 2%. As you can tell, that's about 50 pounds of weight. My minimum weight now is 26.27. So throughout all the practice and qualifying, we're actually safe. At the end of qualifying, the car weighed 26.50, so about 20 pounds safe, but we're gonna add a brick here just to be extra safe for the first race, especially if we dyno. So let's put this brick in. And that should hopefully give us about a 50-pound safety margin at the end of the first race. She's fully loaded. Yep, that is less than ideal. Damn. Oh. Ouch. That's not good. I don't know if that's lockup. On the inside of the wheel too, and also it's rubbing somewhere. That sucks. Well, looks like we're going back to the black wheels. 255s instead of the 265s. That's a bummer. That explains maybe why the car didn't feel so good on these tires. Good thing I noticed that. That would have been a tire blowout.
Let's go, baby, race 1. Starting 4. Get them. 3 Corvettes. Let's go vet hunt.
And of course, this is Grid Life Touring Cup here, Greg, and man, what a crazy weekend this is going to be with our single class format here.
Yeah, and it's all, I mean, you're going to see, folks, you're going to see Corvettes going up against Civics, and it works. That's the wonderful thing about it here. You can see right now, we've had some practices, we've had qualifying, and through one thing about this track, I mean, it's a great track to drive. It's a tough place to pass on.
Here's a look at our point standings, though, for 2024 so far. This is after round 3. Luke McGrew in a Corvette leads with 176 race points. We're taking your best 16 races plus the races at pit race. Your event winners, Luke McGrew, Larry Moore, and Eric Cattell so far this season here. But James Houghton is here, Matan Rosenberg is here, Eric Magnuson is here, Greg. So there's a lot of heavy hitters that are in this race, in this championship, that are looking to maximize points this weekend.
That's one of the things you got to love about Grid Life, Kyle. You know, you're so involved. This is one of the co-owners, and he's out there cleaning the track, picking up body work. I saw the other co-owner lugging cable earlier. It's an all-in effort by this group.
Looks like cars are rolling, and Sophie out there going to split our fields. This is we're going to learn which lane our leader chooses, and we'll see. There's our pace truck this time around. We'll talk about that a little bit later here this weekend. And Luke McGrew chooses driver's left.
Speaking of starts,
it's coming up. The lowest powered car, about 165 horsepower. The highest powered car, about 270. Lightest car, about 2,300 pounds. Heaviest, 3,600 pounds. That's what we're talking about at Grid Life Midwest Festival, the 11th annual Grid Life Midwest. It's round 4 of Grid Life Touring Cup, and we're underway. Grid Life Touring Cup is green at GingerMan Raceway. Down towards turn 1, Matan Rosenberg and Luke McGrew side by side, Greg. And so far, so good.
Ooh, and you saw Matan, what you were talking about, got a little sideways there, but he was able to get enough ahead. Look at Cattell dive down the inside here, but this is where Luke ought to be able to out-accelerate him up the hill. Will Luke be able to get to the inside of 3 here? Doesn't look like it.
And Eric Cattell sneaking up the inside in that very lightweight Honda Civic, 2,500 pounds. It's about 500 pounds lighter than the Corvette right ahead of him, Jessica. So there's 2 cars, the 7 and the 82, completely different. Front drive, lightweight, low power. Rear drive, lots of weight, big horsepower.
Rosenberg in 1 lap has opened up a 1.1 second lead, really doing a nice job. And it was Meadows who dropped from that 3rd spot back behind Cattell and now gets back around him.
course, these tires go off very quickly. Anything that isn't a slick can overheat very, very fast. So these are all things that will come into play, and we'll start to see maybe towards the end these things coming into effect.
Throughout the top 10, but not for the lead. Baton Rosenberg lit up in purple, Greg, because he just ran the best lap of the race.
Yeah, I mean, he said the first time I felt really confident. Whoa, who was that?
That was Robbie Veerhout down in turn 10B. He's pulled off to the inside. Doesn't look like I can see any damage, but we do have a full course yellow at this stage.
This is a good time for them to be losing some heat in the tyres during full course. Yellow's a perfect way to reducing the heat of everything, really, not just the tyres.
Yeah, and these races are short enough that we sometimes we get restarts, sometimes we don't. So if we do get a restart, you have to be ready. And again, single file with 50-something cars, you're going to be a long ways back. So the opportunities, drivers have to take them when they get the chance, Greg.
They do, and the guy who's going to be crying in his helmet right now is Baton Rosenberg, who had that big, he was at 1.6 seconds when that caution
This
came
car
out.
here, Eric Catil, the number 82, this is an important weekend for him. This is the one-year anniversary of him returning to victory lane in Grid Life Touring Cup. And Jessica, the story of Eric Catil, I always tell this is one of my favorite stories of grassroots racing. He raced with us in a Honda Civic hatchback for a handful of years, crashed while racing for a championship at Road America, rebuilt this car from nothing in a handful of months, debuted it, and then a couple months later, this car was upside down in the ditch on the side of a highway in a road accident on an open trailer. And then within 3 weeks, it was back on the podium in Watkins Glen. And at this event 1 year ago, after 2 years of trials and tribulations and accidents, it was back in victory lane. So that's the grit of grassroots racing.
That's quite a story, that is, isn't it? Oh, I'd love to see him on the podium at least. So no, that's I don't know what to say. That's a really. It's not lovely that it's had so many crashes, but it's a lovely story to see it right up there fighting at the sharp end as well.
Well, it's funny because he had won a championship before that, and what he did with this comeback, this multiple comeback, it just shows why. I mean, the guy is indefatigable. He will not be beaten, and it's just great to have him come back. And
Pace truck's going to roll back down the pit lane, and we should get at least one lap. We'll see if we get a white or if we'll get maybe more than one revolution around GingerMan Raceway. Baton Rosenberg in command, Luke McGrew, Eric Catil, James Houghton, Eric Meadows, Jake Jornstad, Matt Waldbaum, Paul Darling, Jensen, and Salil Shukla. Green flag back in the air, Greg.
And let's watch what happens here, looking at Catil and what he's going to be able to do in Meadows using the power. Catil going to that outside line. He's got the overlap on McGrew, Kyle.
Down the inside for turn 2. If McGrew loses this overlap here, I think Catil's back to second place and has a run for Baton Rosenberg side by side behind. Now this is kind of a double apex situation. You track out a little. Whoa, one car straight off course. I think that might be Salil Shukla in that silver BMW. We have got a battle for the lead. Baton Rosenberg and Eric Kittil nose to tail down the back straightaway. There's Peter Zhang stuck over there between 10B and 11. But Kittil's closing in, Greg, and we probably come into a white, I'd imagine.
White flag, yep, coming out here. There it is. So 1 to go, and
drivers battled at Carolina Motorsports Park a couple of months ago, and Kittil won the battle against Baton Rosenberg in an epic overtake. Knocked the corner light out of the front end of it, trying to get by, but now with a car length between them, Greg, half a lap to go at GingerMan Raceway. The challenge is his best passing opportunity is at the end of a long straight.
absolutely.
Rosenberg right up to the edge of the road there, Greg.
He is giving it every bit of welling he can right now, trying to hang on in front of Kittil. We know Kittil's relentless, and any mistake, and Baton's looking in his mirrors going, deja vu, not again here. He has got to just nail this run and protect that inside maybe just a little bit.
Not a bad run. He's got a little bit of slipstream here into turn 11. It's going to be a braking duel, and if he can get a better exit than Rosenberg, he's in good shape.
He nailed that. Baton absolutely nailed that turn.
Coming back to the checkers, Baton Rosenberg wins at GingerMan Raceway. Drops a tire in the grass. And Kittil second, Houghton third, McGrew, Meadows.
Interesting.
Your top
That's
five.
fastest lap for second place.
Kittil, there you go.
He'll be on pole for the next race.
Yeah, as long as it stands, you're right.
And Houghton and McGrew, they were side by side across that line. It was that close. McGrew took a serious run at trying to sneak through. Jorenstad, it's going to be a nice finish for him after that great qualifying run. I think.
And all three of these cars in a points battle as well.
Very close. And just to put it in perspective, on that last lap, Kittil the only driver to go sub 1 minute 40 at a 1:39.9. So he dialed it up when he needed to.
And so race one is complete for Grid Life Touring Cup here from the Midwest Festival. And the first of 4 races is complete. And full course yellow there.
Woo! All right. P2, not bad. Happy with it. P4 to P2, that's a good race.
Here we go, P2. First place Baton, excellent race. The restart actually helped me. Got by Luke McGrew at the restart. I was kind of bummed because I was hoping the Corvettes were going to burn up the tires by the end of the race, but it was a caution for pretty much 50% of the race, so they got a chance to cool down their tires. But the caution did give me an opportunity to get by Luke McGrew. It's really hard to pass on this track. That last lap was pretty epic, but there was no way I was going to get by Baton. He was pretty dicey in turn 9, and it was a good race, but I'm happy. Second place, starting 4th. Let's try to get him tomorrow. Happy to not be on the dyno, because imagine the embarrassment if you blew horsepower with this massive crowd. 3 more races tomorrow. That's it for tonight. I'm gonna basically look at the car over and maybe hang out for a little bit, but good first 2 days here at Grid Life.